What's up, everybody? We're back. The Motivational Mofos, a podcast for rebels who will never stop pushing the limits of what is possible and attainable in their lives. Hosted by me, Scoob and Virginia, who have both faced and overcome obstacles utilizing the power of mindset, action, and rebellion. My favoriteest one. What's up, Virginia? How you doing?
Hello.
What
Uh,
long time no talk? Oh my gosh! So it's been a while. For the people that have been following us, and we were just talking a little bit earlier that we have like 300 followers. We apologize. We've been away for a while, but it's how life is. And so here we are back again to do another podcast. Of course, we have no clue what we're going to talk about. We just fired this thing up, and here we go. So what's up? How are you doing?
so I have noticed that you have been so completely busy.
Mm-hmm. I have been.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Little what is it? Flow, less friction, more flow,
More
less
flow,
friction.
more flow, less friction. That's
hmm
what it is.
All over your Facebook. So I reached out and I wanted to know like what's going on in your life and what's happening.
Yeah. Well, so I started this thing called More Flow, Less Friction. And it is crazy to think. I was thinking in my brain, it was like, oh my gosh, Virginia knows about this. It's like we talk, but when I look back, I have started More Flow, Less Friction and never talked to you really about it. You know, we're always in contact because of Facebook. Hey, what's up? Real quick. But
Right.
we never really talked. So honestly, what happened was I'll tell this really quickly because it is a story for podcasts and rebels and how this happened, right? And I want to hear about you too. But someone asked, I was a corrections officer. We all know that kind of story from this podcast in the beginning. Hated that job. It's what got me going down the path of entrepreneurship. Well, that jail has been shut down for a long time, but a couple guys wanted to do a podcast there. Or I'm sorry, they wanted to do, it was called Spirits with Spirits. So they're these ghost hunters that literally get drunk and search for spirits with spirits. I thought the name was great.
As an intuitive, I'm going to tell you that's a really bad idea.
Well,
But you do you.
yeah, exactly. Well, you got to look them up. They're on YouTube
Okay.
in the shows. They're young kids. They're funny. They're really awesome. I was so glad I got to meet them. But what started this More Flow, Less Friction was they got a hold of me and because they see me online and everything, and they said, "Hey, you were a corrections officer. You worked at this jail. Will you come up and do an interview with us?" Hell yeah! I, I, I get
Right
access.
up
So
your alley.
right up my alley. I'm like, because they weren't letting you back into this jail at all. Because a guy had bought it and he shut it down hard. Right. I tried to drive in one time. He called the cops on me. I worked there. The cops are like, he calls the cops a lot. We're sorry. I'm like, Jesus, I used to work here. I was just here to see it. Whatever. Boom. Whatever. I left. So anyhow, I get in. So I'm in there and it was just like, wow, all this stuff. The interview went great. We did have the lights go out. There's a guy that haunts the place. Yeah, I won't go into that. There's a story behind it. You can watch it. Look up Spirits with Spirits. It was
I
pretty
love it.
crazy. But anyhow, when I was in the jail, I this thing has been brewing in my mind every time I go on a hike, right? I hike every day. I love hiking. And this thing kept coming back to me. More flow, less friction. It just kept repeating in my brain. More flow, less friction. More flow, less friction. I didn't know what to do with it, right? And I was like, what is this? Why am I getting this? And it won't leave me every hike I go on. And I had no clue what to do with it. Well, that day up there, I'd walk through this jail and just everything come flooding back to me. The 20 years of working there. I mean, I've seen stuff there that would blow your mind. The stories, because it was the criminally insane jail. So we
Mhm.
had the inmates that were criminally insane. It was nuts. Believe me, that could be its own show on its own. But as I'm walking in there, it just hit me. It just something hit me, and it said more flow, less friction, and shoot a video telling people about like just start to tell them about the life you experienced, what you've done, and this is part of your history. And there's another piece to this is that I always wanted to start documenting everything I did, not only for people. Like I was sick of. I know I'm like kind of going off here and rambling, but
You're
it's just
fine.
I want everybody to get this real quick. This is the couple things that came together that brought this on, and that was number one. I'm sick of negative stuff on Facebook and everywhere, and I'm sick of everyone trying to be famous and not living a true genuine life. That came with age. I get it. When I was 16, 17, I was the same way, but I was like, I want to do. I also got sober in that time, so I got sober. I got. I was at this jail, and I was like, I want to make a video to help. What I want to do something positive every day Instead of trying to be famous or do anything like that, or say I'm whatever, I want to help somebody every day try to improve their lives just a little bit. And what's the one way to do that? What can I do? Well, I can make a video every day, right?
Mhm.
And so that's it. It all came in that gel that day. I'm going to make a video every day I'm going to commit to 30 days, starting right here at this gel, to make a video every day. I got that from a guy seen years ago who he said, if you want to get this rock and roll, and we talked about this stuff in our podcast before, Motivational Mofos, you got to take action. You got to be, when you get the idea, you got to go take action. It might fail, but you got to go. And so I was like, you know what? This guy said, do a video a day for 30 days. And I was like, that's what I'm committing to. No matter how scared I am, how fearful I am, no matter what, no matter how much I'm going to suck, we all suck at the beginning. I'm just going to do it. I'm not stopping myself. I'm going one video a day for 30 days. And I committed to that and I stuck to that. And next thing I knew, it was 5 months in. There's so many videos now I don't even know what to do with. They're scattered all over the damn place. I need to bring them back into some place. But that's how it all started, just to help people. And I was like, I'm going to call it more flow, less friction. That's it. That's perfect. How to get more flow in your life and reduce the friction. And that's the story. And that's it. That's what happened. And it has now gone crazy. I've literally, even made me some money. Like Reels has paid me off of Facebook. And that wasn't the intention at all in any way, shape, or form. But it has changed my life. And I've got to now travel all over the place. Made many connections by doing this for people that just seen it, that loved it, and they were like invited me to here or to go there, or this opportunity. All kinds of opportunities have risen crazily just by committing to what was fed to me on hikes. So listen to your intuition, follow it, don't stop yourself, and go whatever that is. And that's my advice, and that's
I love it
what I did. So
because it's scary being seen, like putting yourself out there,
yeah,
because like you said, there's so much negativity out there. The more you're seen, the more potential you have for the trolls to come and poke. And it's just, you have to get so secure in what you're doing. And
yes,
in your case, like it's just that you wanted to help someone. And that's why I heal out loud. That's why you heal out loud. If we can just reach one person,
that's it.
worth it.
That's it. And that's all I thought. If I can just help one person, that's all I care about. And you wouldn't believe the messages that have come through now. And I'm just going to be straight up with this. I'm not putting anybody out there, but a lot of them are people that want to quit drinking.
Yeah.
That's what they are. Like and I don't really even talk that much about, so I got sober in this process. I do not drink at all. And so I actually think of all the videos I put together now, I think I've only talked about it maybe 3 times. And in the 2 of the videos, there's just mentioning, getting yourself kind of, one of them is about being on vacation, and the old vacation thing was to go get drunk, but all you do is really create more friction in your life. And there's one that I call fuck alcohol, and that's it. And it's fully about alcohol, right? But other than that, it's just everything. So basically what it is I go for a hike, and what the universe feeds me, because every time the last piece to this, I guess, would be this. Every time I've walked for a hike for the last 10 years, crazy shit would come to me. And I was like, why am I not sharing this with the world? It's going to die in me. It's going to die in me. If I do not start filming myself some way or talking about it some way, it's all going to die in me someday. And I got to get it out there. I don't care if it's, I just got to get it out there. Right. So what had happened though, a lot of these, I've only used the hashtag sober in there, but a lot of them are just what I'm on a hike and what comes to me. It has nothing to do with being sober. But most people that have reached out to me are people saying, listen, they realize that they don't want to do this no more. And that addiction has a hold of them. You know what I mean? And I just try my best to just, I don't want to judge anybody. I don't at all. I never will. And I just I want people to be strong and realize in their time, they can change this. And they can do it, but that's simply, it seems so easy, but it's so true. You just got to be aware of it. That's the first step. If they're reaching out to me, they're aware something needs to change. Once you're aware of it, and you know this, and you can touch on this because I'm talking like crazy here, you just got to make a decision and go. You have to take action, a step towards that in some way. If that was reaching out to me with a text, if that's giving you a call, if it's, if that's calling wherever you got to call, if that's making taking the alcohol out of the cupboard, or if it's food or weight or money you want to save, you have to take some kind of action. And usually what's going to happen is your action is going to give you a bad result. This is where most people quit. But really, that action, that bad result, is just a measuring stick to start again, because you've got the potential always.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're above ground, you have the potential to change your life constantly, even at 101 years old, right?
Yep. So if they are reaching out to you, yes, they're ready, but their subconscious can fuck them over too, because at that point they know they're ready, but there's so much fear behind it.
Yeah.
That they will convince themselves several times that they're not ready.
Yeah.
Until they really have no other choice. And that's when people change.
Yeah, which we would call what rock bottom, I guess, right?
Oh, rock bottom's a great place.
It is a great place. I love rock bottom.
I should make a t-shirt.
Yes, rock bottom's a great place. I fucking love that. Because it is actually true. You're exactly right. Sometimes you just got to get to your rock bottom. Don't look rock bottom as such as negative thing, right?
It is a solid place to put your feet.
It really is.
Push off of that bitch.
Push off of that. And I always love the old saying. It's so true. When you're at the bottom, there's only one way. Yep. Back up, unless you're dead. If you're alive, there's only one way at the bottom, and that's back up, right?
I mean, it takes a really strong person to stop the momentum and stop the habits that they're used to and say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do something different. And that goes with sobriety. It goes with just change in general.
Correct.
To say, I'm not gonna do it the way that I've always done it, because that hasn't gotten me where I want to go.
Yes. That's it. Today I'm stopping. And a lot of people, I get this question a lot. Here's a great question I get from a ton of people. And I'm always like, it's hard to answer in a way, because I want people to, the light bulb to go off as soon as I answer, right? That's how I am. I'm like this. I want this. That's why we do Motivational Mofos. I want to speak and everyone lives change instantly, because that's what I want for everybody, right? But a lot that question is, how can you change right now? You can't change. They think it takes this massive big project, and it's not. It's, you can actually change right now. But what I vibe and I feel from people is they feel like, wait a minute, if I change, how can I change right now? Like, my life isn't going to be different tomorrow. I still got to go to the shitty job, or I still whatever the negative thing is. But it's really, I want to hear what you have to say. My thought on that is really just, it's really that decision to change right now, and then to start the road. Yeah.
Huge. I can tell you the exact moment that I stopped playing the victim in my own story.
There you go.
I had the shittiest hand dealt to me, and nobody would have judged me if I would have stayed on the floor bawling.
Yeah.
But something kept telling me, like, get up. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to be this character that somebody else has made me in this story. Like, I have so much more potential than just my situation. Like, you can get past your situation. You just have to decide one day, this is not for me. I'm going to do something different. And I did. That was the day that I spent the last of my money for that Trusted House Sitters website and hit the road. Like, that does not make sense in normal people's brains to be like, I'm going to do a whole 180 and turn my life around. And it wasn't easy. I mean, I'm still struggling in identifying who I am. Yes. But I get to do that every day, and I get to do it in a way that I want to do it. Yeah. I get to write my own story, just like everybody else.
Correct. That's it. You get to write your own story and project it out on the world the way you want to project it. And if that story becomes negative, which it can when you make that decision and then take an action, rewrite your story. I mean, like, it's
over and over and over again.
And it's never this perfect place, because we're always here to grow. That's our human nature, to grow. So you're at the rock bottom and you get to the top. I promise you, probably what's going to happen is plunk. You're going to get knocked, maybe not completely back down to that level. Maybe not.
So
But
there is a saying, new level, new devil.
Ooh,
So when you get to that place of happiness, there's going to be another obstacle. There's going to be a new level because you're always growing.
Correct.
Always growing.
Correct.
If you're not growing, then
you're dying. Basically.
Yes.
Like I said it earlier in our little conversation. What's that? Say it again.
I didn't want to say it, so thanks.
Yeah, you're dying because I said it earlier.
Yeah.
I said dying in installments, right? That it's dying in installments. So basically, you're setting your own self up for death in a little tiny install. It's almost like a bad habit of smoking cigarettes or something. You know, they're killing you. It's like if someone gave you a pill and said, "Hey, you'll feel somewhat good right now, but it's going to kill you." You just take it every day. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how you do that, you know? And it's wild. Yeah. But I had a thought there and I just lost it, what I was going to say, but yeah, but I know what it was. You say that the devil, but I always seen it as a circle. So your circle's here and you're in the center and you get out to the edge of that circle to break through to the other side. And I've seen this before, the circle just goes like this and it makes a new one. And it just keeps making a new one.
Oh yeah,
bigger.
Because a lot of spiritual teachers will tell you that life is like, imagine a cone. Like it's the same circle, but it just gets wider and broader and wider and broader. And you keep learning new patterns. You keep revisiting things that you've grown from. And now when you're at that next level, you can see how much you've grown. So you're going to run into the same shit over and over again, but you're going to handle it different.
That's it. And you're always going to be looking out somewhere to go somewhere and explore. Like, I love this saying that I heard, so it wasn't Elon Musk, it was somebody else, but they said, because he's trying to go to Mars, right? Really bad. And they're like, I guarantee, and I've said this before in some of my more flow, less frictions, and that is, so I guarantee the first guy's going to get to Mars. They're going to get there. They're going to land. It's going to blow them away. That first person that steps foot on there, boom, they're there, right? And give it a year, probably not even a year. One of the people there guaranteed are going to go, can we get there? Can we get there now? That's how we are. We're growth human beings. We're explorers. We're adventurous at heart. All of us, even if you might not think you are, you really are. And and once you get to a certain spot, you think that that's going to be the be all end all. The grass is all going to be green. It's just like we think we won $1 million tomorrow, that everything would be perfect. It's not how it works. If you're alive, you're searching and growing, and you're going to be like, where can I go next? You know what I mean?
Well, you and I have talked about the hero's journey before.
Yeah.
Once you complete that cycle of the hero's journey, guess what? Your next story starts, your sequel.
Your sequel. You know what I think it is? It just hit me. I think what it is a lot of people have conditioned us through the movies to think that it's that hero's journey because of these movies and Hollywood and everything, that's the golden fairy. When you get to the end, it's this beautiful thing and that's how it ends. But that's not how it works. It usually works like we're talking about. You get knocked back down, more problems, and you always in this growth state. I mean, a lot of people are realizing that and they're seeing that now, but that's just a reality, a harsh reality of the way it is,
Yep. But if you can learn to roll with it, and your life becomes so much easier. So I love the fact that you have titled everything like More Flow, Less Friction, because that is the goal, is to just receive that flow and go with it. Once you start resisting, your life gets difficult. Like we hold on to things that are not good for us. We do things to please others. We have all these things that keep us in that restrictive mode. If we would just let go of so much stuff and go with the flow,
it's so
life
true.
gets so much easier.
Yeah. And a lot of people think flow is this. When I talk about flow, a lot of people think it's like, oh, it's only designated for athletes to get into that state and stuff. And that is a big piece of it. Really, no. Flow is about finding that flow for yourself in your life under any circumstance, under any situation where you can. There's always going to be friction in some sense, but you're able to just decompress from that friction a little bit and find your flow and peace and joy and harmony and joy and in your own life, you know what I mean? And not always be, listen, who I'd really love to hit and help the most is, this comes in age. Both of us are, almost 50, and it's a natural thing. You start to learn it
Wait,
in
did you
age.
say that again? Yes, I'm almost.
So we're both 30, and so we just hit our 30s. And so at 30, you start realizing add an extra 3 on there. We're pushing more towards that end. But
I know I'm gonna be 52 next month. I'm like,
we're both Tauruses. My birthday's May 6th, and I'm hitting the 50, the big 50. And
oh
so
my
it's a
God,
big.
you're younger than me. This is terrible.
I'm younger than you. I'm actually. You've already been through this 50. It's like, that's friction for me a little bit, because I'm like, gosh darn it, I'm halfway to 100. What the hell is going on
Yeah,
here?
but you know what happens the older you get? Like, I have more years behind me than I have in front of me, so my give a damn, like, gone.
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
write however you want your story to look. So
Correct. And that's what a point I was getting to. The flow almost just kind of comes to you at this age in ways, because you're just like, fuck it. Like, I might as well just be that way. There's no sense to hold on to some of all that bullshit. If we could get through to anybody here, if we had anybody listen that's in their 17s, 18, 19, 20, even 50, in that range is the really, gosh, if you can find it there, because you create so much friction at that age. When I look back on it, there's like, oh my gosh, if I only, and I
you're
know,
so worried about what people think about that's like the biggest anchor, is like trying to please people and worried about what other people think. Don't give a shit.
yeah,
Don't give a shit. Just figure out who you are authentically at your
yes,
core and be that person.
correct.
There's only one of you on the planet.
Magnify that. That's, you nailed it. If you could do anything, figure out who you are authentically. What is it? What do you truly desire? What blows you, makes you have so much energy and feel so good? And double down on that like a son of a gun. Even if it's the weirdest, craziest. Now, if it's a little too weird, I'd be careful. But
No, be weird. Be your weird self.
No. I mean, I know, but I meant like,
Don't break any laws.
Yeah, don't break any laws. I'll just leave it at that. Don't break any laws, but be weird as a motherfucker. Go crazy. And if that's what you feel like, I have one of my bring me up, and I'll just use this example really quick. One of my reels, more flow, less friction, is, are you a hummingbird or an eagle? Right? Because one day I was hiking, and I seen this eagle. He just guides. But that's what an eagle does. And a hummingbird can't do that. So a hummingbird don't try to be an eagle. A hummingbird flaps like a motherfucker. It's like he's snorting lines all day. Well, don't do anything illegal and don't snort lines, but be a hummingbird. We're more high energy people. But some people ain't like that. We're sloths. We're kind of the eagle. But a lot of times an eagle will try to be a hummingbird in humans, and a human hummingbird will try to be an eagle. Find what's true to you and just double down, magnetize that 1,000%. And your life will go really good. It really will. And you'll attract all kinds of good shit to you, because you're not creating friction, which shuts it all off. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm having an identity crisis right now.
Yeah.
Because I have never been this version of myself.
Yeah.
So I've been here in Asheville for 8 months. And like I was telling you earlier, like, I thought being stable would like be the cure all to all my problems. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And I just moved all my stuff up from Florida, like what was left in my storage unit that I didn't sell. A buddy and I went down and got all of my stuff, brought it back. Now I have things from my past in this space, and I'm having an identity crisis because I don't know who this version of Virginia is. I have never been here before. It's a little scary. But what I have to remember is I just get to be me. I get to be me in this moment and figure it out.
Yeah, you do. You do get to be you in this moment. Even though it can be crushing and hard, you're actually learning. It can be so crushing and hard, but you're learning big lessons. And I listen to Sadhu Guru a lot. I don't know if you ever listened to him.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. He has a thing is never identify. I mean, I know this is easier said than done, but this is just my little way of feedback to you. Don't ever identify with anything. At the end of the day, when you lay down, when you identify with anything, you enslave yourself and you create past memories, even future. You can create future scenarios that are not there, all kinds of crazy stuff like that, right?
I am so guilty of it. But when you're aware that you're doing it, so much healing comes from that. Like,
Yes.
when I went down to Florida to get my things, I text my little brother. I haven't talked to him in 2 years. I text him and said, "Hey, I want this thing that belongs to my dad." It went silent for 15 minutes. And in those 15 minutes, my brain, who is like Chicken Little, always creating the worst case scenario, has made up this story that my brother is not going to give me what I'm asking for. And then he called me. 15 minutes later, he calls me, and he spent those 15 minutes gathering things for me.
Yeah.
So totally my brain was like, oh, he hates you. He's not going to do this. Like, created this whole story.
I get that totally.
And it wasn't true.
It wasn't true.
Happens to us all the time because that's where our trauma comes into play.
Correct.
And it's make believe to the worst degree.
And that's a tourist thing too. It really is. I know I say that a lot, but that is a tourist thing. We're known for it, overthinking and making scenarios out of situations. So that was a double impact for you, right? Because we all do that because of past traumas and we need to heal from it. But also, tourists are notorious for that. I do that. Oh my God. When you said that, I was like, I totally get this. Because I'll come up with I'll play out a whole thing. I'll play a movie out of my head of how.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be like, details. And I'm like, that's exactly true. That's it. Well, guess what? I just fucking made that my truth. And holy hell. And it's so true. If you do that, you enslave yourself because it's not the truth. Most of the time.
Over the past year, I have gotten really good at asking, is that the truth, Virginia? Or are you making it up? What evidence do you have to tell you that that's the truth?
Yeah.
And normally I'm like, oh shit, I can't verify any of it. It's just the story that my old patterns have created.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. It's crazy that we do that as humans. And it's just, that's the friction. That's what it is. That's the friction.
Oh yeah.
And the only way to get more to the flow is to actually, like you just said, you're aware of it and you ask yourselves the question, right? And then now you can be like, let me investigate this some more. Let me take a breath here for a second. You know what I mean? But if you're on them cycles, we said habits because they are cycles, right? But the thing about it is, and what I've learned through this more flow and less friction a little bit, is we're born from cycles. Cycles are, in a way, you can't escape them. Our whole universe is in a cycle. Our mothers were in a cycle, so because we're here. But the negative cycle, when you get into that loop, now you have to be aware of it and then take an action to break it. And you can ask yourself that better question to be like, "Hey, fuck you, Scoob. You're being a
because your brain is the entertainment center. It's the storyteller. It's the one that it's connected to your nervous system. It keeps you safe by perpetuating all those past patterns. But your heart, like if you can just learn to listen from your heart versus your brain, don't listen to the entertainment center. Your heart center is your GPS.
Absolutely.
If it feels good in your heart, you know what alignment feels like. There's no frustration. It's easy. There's flow.
Yeah.
Get out of your head.
Get out of your head. And it's true. And if it's so true. And for people that are in hardcore friction, because you might be, and you might be saying to yourself right now, how do you listen to your heart? I'm so, honestly, you just let your brain go. A lot of people will tell you to stop your brain and try to make it, honestly, just let it do its thing. Let it run and go crazy.
Then ask those questions from your heart, like, is this the truth?
Yeah.
What evidence is there to support this?
Yep. And take deep breaths.
It's not the truth.
and take deep breaths, and you'll start to feel little tiny increments of, man, I wish I had the sign behind me. I did this meditation. I actually have it. I actually have it right here. It honestly, this meditation is one of the coolest meditations I actually started about a month ago, and I seen it on YouTube, and it was like, don't never have a bad day again, right? And I should hang this up really quick. Want me to show it really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second. So this is my so you get to see how I can just instantly get rid of backgrounds here. You ready? Watch this background. This background's gone.
This is a old school green screen.
This is an old school. So here's the new background. See, and it's called the Breath of Life meditation. Can you see that?
Kinda.
Let's see. Let's move
Not
it
as
over.
good as your other poster, but whatever.
Not as good as the other one.
No.
But anyhow, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Let's move this up a little bit. Now you can kind of see it, right? Oh, wait. I need to go that way. There you can kind of see it, right?
And we talk about meditation a lot and connecting with yourself, your body, your heart, like really getting to know yourself. And there's a lot of people that have never meditated. And I was one of those people. Well, I'm sure you were one of those people.
I was, yeah.
Had no clue. It sounds like you sit in the corner and that's not what meditation has to be. You go walking. Yeah. I used to walk. Now I paint. That is, you just get out of your head and information will flow in. Ideas will come. It will just clear everything.
Absolutely.
So you can tiptoe your way into meditation. It doesn't have to be guru level sitting in the corner for 3 hours.
I love that you just said that, because I hear that a lot. People asking now, because I do some reels about meditation. And I love you said that, because that's what I tell everybody. Don't overthink this. Just start some way. So if you have to sit down and listen to a guided one, if you have to walk, if you have to just breathe, just start anyway. Don't worry about it. As long as you're
washing the dishes.
Exactly.
Just go through those motions and stay out of your head. That's it.
And I know you were like really deep into it there for a while, because you were always invited. Like every day I was getting, come into this room or do it.
Yep.
And I loved it though. And I know, and I know you even said this, and I know this is going down to kind of another rabbit hole, but I'll bring it up. You've even said that someone told you maybe you're doing too much. And I had that experience also. And we touched on that one time, not to go deep into this, but I also felt like I was doing too much. Because I became doing it so much that I was almost like I didn't give a shit about anything.
Because when you get really good at meditation, it's peaceful there.
It is.
So it's really easy to use it as an escape.
Yes.
So you have to find balance.
Yeah. And don't worry, if you're new and you're listening to this, don't worry about that yet. Just get yourself going, because listen, I couldn't do what I've learned for myself now. It's in my arsenal, and I don't do it every day, but I know when I need it. And now, right. And I need to start, I do it, and I feel 1,000% better. That's one thing I do. And I try not to go every day hard and heavy like I was before. Because you do realize that you are one with this universe, but you also realize that really you're so insignificant in this universe. It's so insignificant in the sense of, it's really every thought and everything you do means nothing. And you're just, in the sense, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it was a good not caring. Like I just didn't care. It was a peaceful not caring, but it was like, I don't have to go do that. I don't want to be around nobody. I just want to be here in this Zen state. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to do a podcast, Virginia, man. I'm just gonna go be here down by the river. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. I put my feet in the river and what? Where?
You know what we should do? Honestly, what we should do is hit me right now for some reason. We should do something where we help people like we do it like meditation kind of course, right? Coaching session, like
for beginners.
For beginners.
For people who are like,
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'll tell you why. It's just
Yep.
just to get them rolling. Because the other big question I get, and I'm telling you, for some big, like I was down at Corso doing some coaching, and this dude, you might have seen it on Facebook. He owned this pole that looked over the ocean. He was a massive pilot for a big company. He was one of the most down to earth dudes, but he was loaded. And we got into a car. My buddy that I was there with was doing some contracting work, and they invited me up to have a coffee with them. And all their friends come over, and we got into a conversation about meditation, and it blew me away how none of them had no idea. And when I started to give them some stuff, and I gave them some stuff that I knew online, they all reached back out to me through WhatsApp and were like, oh my God. Like, and so I realized, wow, a lot more people need this. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
what they feel is, and what happens is, the big question is they feel like, because everyone's so programmed to think that cardio or lifting weights, you're done with it and you feel it, you get this instant gratification, so to speak, right? With meditation, a lot of people quit because they're like, well, I don't feel it, I don't get that instant gratification. You know exactly what I'm talking, I'm preaching on here. But
Yep.
if you can break through with that, meditation will blow all that cardio and shit out of the water. Give it like 2-3 months, and then the whole game will change for you. But you got to get through that initial friction, right?
Absolutely. It's funny because there's a reason why mind, body, spirit is a thing. Like, people always forget the spirit part, but the spirit part is your energy cycle.
Yeah.
It is so important. And everybody thinks it's so out there and woo woo.
Yeah.
It's science. You are a living creature that has all of these mechanics in place. Treat them all equally.
Yes. And a lot of people are waking up to that. But they're kind of lost. They don't really know.
Oh yeah.
We're still lost. Don't listen when I say that. I'm not acting like I'm some guru with this at all. I'm learning every day. But I'm glad that I've been down this path, because I love it, because I learn stuff every day. You know what I mean?
All you have to do is be curious and be willing to, like, okay, the first time I ever went on a barefoot walk,
Yeah.
I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But it was like something that had come in, like, go for a walk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love to get out in nature. I love to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
So to get that download to be like, do it barefoot, I was like, what the fuck? So much information comes through when your body is touching the earth.
Oh, it's so true.
You get to let go of so much stuff. You feel so much better. And I used to look at those people who are like, oh, I ground every day. And I'd be like,
yeah.
Okay.
What? Yeah.
Never understood it until you actually are willing to try it. Even if you're willing to say, oh, I just want to see if this works or doesn't work because you're convinced that it's not going to work. Okay, go.
Absolutely.
At least you're willing.
Absolutely. Here's my new one. I know this is old, but it's new for me. And I love what you just said, because that's so true. Once I started to do that myself, it was like, holy shit, like, wow, it really does work. So my new one, and I know this is old, because as soon as I say, you're gonna be like, oh my God, people have been doing that. But I've had, like, we had a conversation earlier where I was saying I was going to the doctor because I, had some stuff going on medically, and I feel like, the testosterone levels and all that. But anyhow, I'm gonna actually try the cold plunge. And they say it's crazy, so good for the joints and everything. And I have a little stream on my property. Maybe I'll film this and put it into like a reel or something. But I'm actually gonna try to do this.
I did my cold shower this morning.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make that much of a difference in your joints and stuff?
So I haven't been doing, like, Wim Hof. I love watching Wim Hof.
Yeah.
And if you watch, like, how he does his cold plunge and stuff, like, I'm not that level.
Yeah.
But at the end of my shower, I like to flip it all the way over to cold and just let the cold hit.
Yeah.
Yep. It's good stuff.
I got to try it. I've never tried it.
Stuff.
I always go to heat for my
So I have to tell you, I went on a cruise in January.
Yeah.
And the pools on those ships are ice cold. I just got into the water, and everybody around the pool, because nobody's getting in the pool, I turned around and they're all looking at me.
Like,
And
what
I
the
said, oh,
hell?
did I make that look easy? And they're like, how did you do that? And I said, you just turn your brain off. And
Yeah.
that's the cold plunge is get out of your head. That's
Get out.
life. Get
Yeah.
out of your head.
I love it. Is that what that's going to teach me?
Get out of your head.
Oh man,
Yep,
I love that.
Keep moving. Keep
Keep
moving forward.
keep
Get in.
moving forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Your brain wants to tell you you're going to die.
You're going to die. I can't wait. I've heard that it's crazy good for the joints too. So that's my other thing. I love that you just told me that. Actually, this whole podcast with that alone right there is going to help me tremendously because I would have not focused on that, what you just said right there. And now I have that in my arsenal. See, that's why we do this podcast, because we hope you get some, no matter what, you take one little thing out of it that helps you go forward and helps you expand and grow and get better in life. And motivational mofos, that's why it's what it's called. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a reason that both of us are healing out loud, and it's just to help people.
That's it. I love that. Healing out loud. That's what we do. We just heal out loud.
There's so many people that try to hide the gross stuff that they've gone through.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding it.
Yeah. Well,
Here I am.
Here I am. Mm-hmm. And people ask me all the time too, and that just reminded me, they say, you know, it looks like your life's just, you know, but I don't like that, because it's not, I'm not trying to on Facebook with this more flow, less friction, make it look like that. I'm doing what I find my flow in. But it's still, man, I got all kinds of shit going on. That's this fake, you know, that's a whole nother rabbit hole too. And I don't want to get down that, but it is basically it's back to where there's always a theme that comes out in these. And one of the themes that come out in this podcast for us here is that, you know, it's that being aware and taking action in that circle, so to speak, growth. You're always going to be growing, and your rock bottom, there's always one way back up, and it's a good place to be. You know what I mean? So that's always a fight, even if it looks like things are amazing. It is amazing, but you're always growing, searching. You're at Mars now, looking at Uranus. Did I just say that?
You did.
Venus. Venus.
I have so
Pluto.
many comments right now.
Don't say them. Don't say them. Holy shit. Why? Holy hell. I'm just so glad we got back on this Motivational Mofos. I'm so glad we did this podcast again. And here's the thing, here's where me and you screw up. We'll do this and not do another one for
8 months.
8 months. We were on a good streak there for a while. We were on a good streak. When we first started it. We almost did one, I think, every week for a while, but they're all there. If you guys are here finding this brand new, you can go to Motivational Mofos on Facebook and scroll down through the feed, and you will find our old ones. There's also, I'll share it below this video in the Facebook comments. It's called Anchor. It's actually a link in the. We needed it today, me and you, because we're like, dude, where's our saying? Right? So you're like, I found it on our Anchor FM page.
I don't know.
I love just how, like, we're just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, but what else? I mean, it's not like, you know, but and we'd love to help people too. So, you know, obviously when we're doing this, the ultimate end goal is to help people, right? So if you're interested, and we have nothing that we, you know, some people at the end of the podcast will say, hey, join our course, here's what it is, and blah blah blah. We don't even have that, because that's not what we focus on. But if you are really would love to get help from us in any way, shape, or form, even with the meditation, we touched on that, please reach out to us. Absolutely. I mean, even just drop a comment below saying a heck yes or anything, and you know, we'll reach out to you with a messenger or an email, and just have a conversation, you know, right?
Absolutely. Both of us are coaches. Both of us are mentors. And that's where I like to be able to help people. But I'm definitely not one of those, I'm only helping to get sales. That's not who I am.
Me either. At all. That's what's beautiful about our coaching, I believe. I'm not saying ours is the only one like that, obviously, but that is why, and I think another reason why me and you connect, you know, and we're such vibe together, because that's where we come from, you know. So it's hard for us to get to the end of these sometimes, you know, just being transparent and authentic. We want to create courses and stuff to create an info, an income. Everyone wants to do that, but we are so relaxed on it and don't know really how to even sell that we're just like, whatever, you know what I mean? But you
It'll
can always,
happen.
it'll happen, man,
It'll happen.
because we start with just the love and the passion and the vibration to just make change and help people. That's where it comes from. But you also gotta. I've realized, because I do sales, that you do need to tell people. You got to tell them what to do, and and that's why I like said right there, reach out to us. That's all you got. The easiest thing you can do is just drop a comment in the
Oh yeah.
section below, and you don't even have to say anything. You can just say a fire emoji or say yes or whatever, and we'll know just to reach back out to you. You won't even have to really write us an email or anything like that. We'll just say, hey, what's up? If you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
What's your email? Just to throw it out there, just in case somebody would want to email.
In case.
In case.
It is Virginia at thiscoexistence.com.
Virginia at thiscoexistence.com, and mine's Scoob at scoobleocoaching.com, which mine used to just be mx Scoob at Gmail. So that old just Gmail account, you know what I mean?
How many accounts you got?
I got so many accounts from just doing so many different things, you know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that was a great comeback on our podcast. I loved it, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And like I said, leave a comment below, even if it's just to say hi and actually motivate us to keep going.
Tell
Maybe
us
do
to
this
get our shit together.
Tell us to get our shit together. If this podcast you enjoy and you help it, please let us know. That does, in this online world, it does make it hard sometimes to realize, are you impacting people and helping? And I love it when stuff comes through for me that people are like, hey man, I love what you're doing. That it helps, and it helps you have more drive to push forward, for sure.
Yep.
You agree?
And that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. That's exactly why we're here. All right. Well, it was a great podcast. I love it. Let's do another one really soon. We'll come up with our, usually we do come up with one little, like, what are we going to touch? What is it? What do you call it?
A blurb.
A blurb. Usually we come up with a blurb. This one we're like, it's been so long. Let's just go. You know what I mean? So, all right. Well, peace out, everybody. Have a good one. It was a great talking to you. Great seeing you. I hope you got a lot of value out of that, and I hope it inspired you and motivated you, and you found a lot of good stuff out of that.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you later.